silly voices. Hello, I'm professionally professional. This sort of thing. And I was like, right, that's it. Cat's out of the bag. I'm silly. I love it. I'm embracing it. This is me.
You're a very lovely, warm person, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the beginning of it. So that opened the floodgates, really. I started being sillier and sillier on my videos.
Yes.
And if you look at
there was lessons.
There were lessons. Yes, I wasn't just mucking about for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
There was always a point. So my first series was taking people through the stages of creating your own campaign plan, and you can see if you're bored enough, listeners, if you go back and watch them, the first one hasn't got any characters at all, and the second one starts off with me introducing as myself, and then goes into the characters, and gradually I get bolder and bolder, and by the end of it I'm like, do you know what, people need to know what this video is about. So I open the video with me dressed up, sort of singing Secret Marketing Show, like people are going to love this or hate it. Go in bold and they can make their own decision. Yes. And I think that's what they do. I think people see it and either think, oh, this is for me, or they think, oh my God, I'm not ever watching a video from this crazy woman, and they don't watch it. So it's perfect.
So you're completely attracting the right audience and putting off people who aren't your audience.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Marmite. That's what people say to aim for, isn't it?
Yes. Although that's kind of funny because I have an issue with people telling me I should have haters, because I don't think that I should. I'm not that kind of person. And did you ever get any negative feedback in terms of comments?
No. I just think people see it, and if it's not for them, they turn off and they just don't bother.
Brilliant. There's a guy in Northern Ireland called Aaron Watson, and he puts on videos. You have to go and look at him. He puts on videos and he is larger than life in these videos. And he's got, it has turned around his business. He's got so much work out of it as a result, but he does get people who feel the need to tell him that they don't really agree with what he's doing. Maybe not so much anymore. And he just deflects them totally. But his videos and your videos are, to me, LinkedIn is, yes, it's a professional network, but it doesn't have to be stuffy.
No.
You are connecting with people on there, and I like seeing things like that. Doesn't mean that I watch them all, and I've said to Aaron, I don't watch all your videos, Aaron. When he's jumping out of a banana suit or something, I'm not watching that one.
Yeah. Oh, now you come to mention it, I have had somebody, a reasonable sized influencer on LinkedIn, saying that he doesn't recommend people do videos like mine. Okay. And expressing views about my videos. And I just think it's interesting because he hasn't talked to me about them. He doesn't know what my goals are. Oh. He doesn't know how long it takes me to. So some of those videos only took 2 hours from scripting to filming to editing.
Wow.
And for what they've done for me, I have got a bit of a following now because of these daft videos. I couldn't have got that from the kind of content the person in question puts out. So I just think it's interesting. People do, I think that the bigger your profile, not that I'm high profile by any stretch of the imagination, but that you put your head above the parapet and people will take a shot at you.
Yes. Interestingly then, that brings me on to another thing that I have seen on LinkedIn and on other platforms about LinkedIn, about these league tables of people with followers. Have you seen those?
I've seen one. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I've got about 3,300 followers, I think, on LinkedIn. I don't know how many you have.
I have more than 5,000.
Get you.
It doesn't really mean anything, does it?
No, it doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. There are people who then create these spreadsheets of it's almost like you should follow this person because they've got 11,000 followers. Whereas I've never really gone that way in my business. I follow somebody because I'm interested in what they have to say.
Yeah, I when I was first starting out, I would be, and I had, when I, last January, I had about 350 connections. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably in awe of people who had thousands.
Yeah.
But the more you spend time on LinkedIn, the more you realize, and maybe this is like a metaphor for business or something, but the more you realize we're all just the same. Mm-hmm. We're all on the same path. Just because somebody's further ahead on the path doesn't mean that they're better than you. Mm-hmm. And the numbers mean nothing to me now. I see people with 10 or 20,000, but I don't think their content's particularly good.
Yes. Yeah.
Or I don't agree with what they're saying. So I don't want to connect with them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't care how many followers they've got.
Yes. And it's the same as if you go to live events, and yes, there's speakers there, and we'll come on to that in a moment, Miss Coombes. And there's people clamoring to speak to the speakers, but actually the person that you speak to who's getting coffee might be more
in the queue for the loo later.
Yeah, might be far more interesting and actually potentially lead to a lot more work than somebody who has got to the stage of being invited to speak on the stage. So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Tell me about your upcoming speaking gigs. This will be going out, I think, probably potentially the week that you're going to be taking the stage.
Oh my gosh, not that I'm nervous at all. I've got a little perfectly small, perfectly formed speaking slot at Janet Murray's 2020 Sorted event in November.
Fabulous.
So I'm preparing for that because I want to be over prepared. And I'm hosting the You Are the Media lunch meeting in February as well. So it's just like lining them up.
What is You Are the Media?
You Are the Media. Do you know, it's funny because it's this bustling community that I stumbled upon because of John Esperian earlier this year.
Uh-huh. I love John.
He's fab, isn't he? Let's not talk about him though. People
no.
Bloody John, he's everywhere, isn't he? He was actually the first choice for Janet's speaking slot, to be honest, but he couldn't make it. So I nabbed it. She offered it to me instead. Anyway, You Are the Media. So I think I must have seen that John was going to You Are the Media, and I thought, I'd like to meet John. He's a mate, and he doesn't get out much, so I'll this might be my only chance to meet him in real life. Mm-hmm. So I bought a ticket to meet him, really.
Is it in London?
No, it's in Bournemouth.
Okay.
But as it happens, it's just such a lovely bunch of people who they've got a live event, if you can call it that, every month. It's they get together for lunch once a month in person in Bournemouth. I think it's at Shelley Theatre every time. The You Are the Media event, it was in May this year. I think it was in May last year as well. So that's been running 2 years now. And that's like a bigger event with speakers and everything. Mm-hmm. And they've got, Mark Masters is the guy who runs it all. And he's got this really interesting weekly newsletter that he sends out. It's a really good example of how to make things easy to read.
Right.
And it's just a fab community, and everybody knows each other really well. Mm-hmm. And John has a regular spot on their podcast, so he also has a podcast.
Oh, I have seen that. I have seen John talking about that on Twitter, so that's what that is. Okay.
Yes, that's what that is. Ah. But it's funny because I hadn't come across them at all, and it's this really quite a big community that I just stumbled upon earlier this year, and I've wormed my way in there.
Sounds interesting. Must go and check them out. So what are you going to be speaking about at Janet's event?
So the brief is quite tight. I've only got like a 10-minute slot, but it's about LinkedIn, funnily enough.
Yes.
And just building an audience on LinkedIn, what that's like, mm-hmm. how I go about it. I have been asked to touch on my secret marketing show and why I chose to do it as a series, mm-hmm. Rather than just sort of either ad hoc or ongoing forever.
Oh, that's interesting. How many shows are in your series?
So the first series there was 6, and the second series there was 6. The third series I've got in my head, it might only be 4, and it's going to be very different. So they're all going to, there's the first series was kind of like sketches.
Yes.
And the second series had a more, I was trying to batch the second series. It didn't work very well. But it had a more stable format. It was the same format every week. And the third series is a completely different format.
Oh, and are you then repurposing those on YouTube?
They are all on YouTube, yes. Yeah. I put them on there to begin with, just so it was easy to share. But yes, people can check that out. My channel is Janine Coombes.
And do you get a lot of people watching them on YouTube, Janine?
No, it's something I learned very quickly. I was thinking, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I could become YouTube famous. But I did a few days research on it, and the types of video that do well on YouTube are either, I want to know how to do this, give me specific instructions, how to hammer this nail into the wall or whatever. Yeah. Or it's entertainment. I want to see this person, their music, their video, their stand-up routine or whatever. And it's so where I come into it, it's kind of entertainment, but I'm just not well known enough for anybody to be searching for me. So I'm just using it. I'm lucky to get even 100 views on a video on YouTube. I'm just not pushing it. It's there to share.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have videos on YouTube, and every now and again I get an email notification about a comment, and I don't work on it at all. I think I set it up after one of the Youpreneur summits.
Oh yeah.
And they're going, you must do YouTube. I thought, right, okay, must do YouTube.
Yes.
I fired a whole load of videos up there. Now my podcast does automatically go onto YouTube, which is, I just let that happen because it's not a platform that I'm particularly building or working on, so it just sits there. But I do get views and comments, and it is the how-tos, and it's the ones where I literally would say how to do something for your Facebook page, and they're only like
perfect.
Yeah, people really engage with those, and it amuses me when I get an email message to say someone's left a comment, because I've kind of forgotten that they're there almost. But yes, I use YouTube in a personal capacity when it's something like my Hitachi 70E32 dishwasher is flashing with the yellow button. What does that mean? And then YouTube will tell me.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's just so helpful for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And my 12-year-old son is very frustrated that I won't allow him to have YouTube on his phone yet.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Gosh.
Yeah, shielding them as long as possible, if that is possible. But anyways, so that is, so the marketing show, what other kind of content do you put on LinkedIn that works for you?
I've really got a nose for it now, and I know when something will do well or not. I mean, it depends what you're talking about, if I want engagement or if I want leads or whatever.
Say you're looking for leads. What kind of content works for you if you're looking for leads?
The best thing I have found for myself, and that's the thing, you've got to find something that works for you, but the best thing I've done to get leads is to do a text post or a video, or a text post that explains this video, where you are showing your expertise, that you are leaving people in no doubt that you are credible and you can solve their problem. And then I have to put a call to action on it. There's quite a few people on LinkedIn that appear to be doing very well with pure inbound sales. So they don't ever put an offer out. They don't ever put a call to action out. Yeah. I think that is very rare for that to work on LinkedIn. Personally, I have to make it obvious what I am selling, how I can help the person, and have a call to action. Yeah. And sometimes it's a very overt sales post, and sometimes it's a bit more subtle. And I'm just saying, did you know that it's like a tips thing? Did you know that this is a key thing that you need to sort out? And if you do, it'll help you, and I can help you with this. Message me or call me. But yeah, I have to be overt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. So there's really fascinating conversations that go on around LinkedIn, and it's like all the social media platforms. I was talking to Meg